In this tutorial in Expression Web, we're going to look at how to use the navigation tools to manage the different areas of your website. We have a page up here called Testing, and we're looking at the design view, so we see somewhat like a true preview of this particular website. We have a header, we have a menu system here, we have a left column, a right column, and we have a footer. But you don't see all of that unless you get into the code view. So let me go split so we can see both the design view at the bottom and the code view at the top. Now when you're in code view, there's some things that help you understand exactly what you see in design view. If you look up here, you have what's called a breadcrumb. This takes you to different places in your website. If I click on body here, it will highlight the entire section that's defined by body. And if I look carefully here, that contains everything except the HTML part, which starts here and ends at the very bottom of my website. So the body is the main area of my website. But then I have another division here called container, which is slightly smaller than body. But if I scroll down, you see the container is almost as large, just slightly smaller. You could actually do without the container and just make it part of your body, but we'll show you a couple of reasons why it's nice to break it up. And then if I click down inside container, I get another section here called Masthead. Now, I just clicked over here on line 19. I'm going to click on Masthead, and this tells me what the masthead looks like, and I see it outlined here. Okay, the masthead basically contains an empty link to a reference I could click on, my Into the Fall, and then the other, a website about my favorite season. So that's my masthead. And they've used these areas here in the pre-design to help identify these regions. This is just code for note. It doesn't do anything. It just identifies that particular section of your website, and that's a very good design technique. So here's the masthead here, and I just click on this and it shows me where it starts and where it ends. And then I'm going to click down here into navigation. Now notice I have body, container, and I'm a third layer deep. It's navigation. If I click here, it will give me the entire navigation area outlined here and outlined here. And basically what this is my drop-down menus. It tells me that in this navigation section, I could call this anything I want to. I could call it ice cream if I wanted. But it's a good label to use because it explains what it's about. The navigation contains a link to 4 other pages: home, testing, resume, photo gallery, and links. And so that's all in the navigation section under the container, under the body. If we keep going south, we look at another one, which is content container. And if I click here, and now I have it, I see it in my breadcrumb area. I'll click on that. And this is my content container. So this is all the rest of it. You see down here it's highlighted as well. It contains everything, not including my up to and including my footer. And so that's the content area. Everything below the menu is the content area here. And so what I'm going to do now, I'll click on anywhere in the column left. And now I have another area. I'm down 4 layers. I click column left. And I notice that everything here is defined by column left. And here's the division tag, which identifies that. So everything in that box is defined by column left. And I have the signs of fall. I have a picture defined with a certain height and width, and the name of the picture is here, and some text. So that's my column left. If I go down further, I've got column right. I can click on it up here. We'll highlight it down here as well. Here's my division called column right, and we have the items that are in it. Now I'll click one more down here. I'll go down here anywhere in my footer. And this is my footer. It contains the copyright notice, and then it contains links to the other pages as well. The same thing I had up on the top, only it has another one called contact here. So that is a little bit about how you generally design a web page from top to bottom and right to left at the same time. Now you can also go into a subsection here, like I have this little div that's called copyright, and if I click over here, I just have these 3 lines, which you could actually put on one line if you wanted to, that controls my little copyright over here. And so the advantage of doing this way is that you can assign certain qualities to these division ID tags in your style sheet to control the look and feel, because obviously none of that information is here. This is your raw data. It takes either embedded cascading style sheet code, or it takes linking to a cascading style sheet. We'll talk about that later. But this gives you just a general look at the kind of design you want in a very useful web page. You need a body, and then you can either have a container or not, but you'll need a masthead at the top, probably something to navigate from page to page, and then you'll need something that's your main container. If you want a left column, you'll have to identify that, and a right column, you'll have to do the same, and all of the features, and then most of them have a footer. So these are some of the things that you can keep in mind as you begin to think about the design attributes in a website. And it's always easy in Microsoft Expression Web to see what you get in the bottom part and then understand how the code was created in the top. And again, you can make all kinds of edits down here. Never worry about this section. But that's the beginning of understanding how to navigate. This is a very useful tool to navigate through this breadcrumb into the smaller and smaller sections of the website to see what's going on and make changes in code view if you want to, or just seeing where the cursor goes when you click on some of that. So I hope you found this useful as a bit of an introduction to navigating the design area in Expression Web.